what to do with pre-seen material of SBL. Now, when you get your SBL pre-seen material 2 weeks before your exam date, what should you do? The first thing is read, and read. You have to read from the first word to the last word, right? You have to be very familiar with the case given to you. In SBL pre-seen material, there are a few sections which is rather consistent as far as I observe. The first section is a brief introduction about the company, number 1, right? Number 2 is about the industry background. So in the industry background, it can range from 5 pages to 7 or 8 pages to give you a thorough background about the industry. So you do not need to do further research. You just read your SBL pre-seen material. It is enough for you to understand the industry mentioned in the case study. Now remember that the case study are all fictitious. It means it may not be something happen in our real world. So please follow what is inside your pre-seen material instead, rather than doing the research by yourself, because it may not help. It may help, but it may not really fit to the case study that is given to you, right? So that is section 2. Section 3 is about the company background. That is also something that you have to detail by looking at the philosophy, values, and the policy and procedures of the company, right? So the 4th part is about some information about the company. They may give you some financial information. They may give you some performance indicator, which may also help you to answer your question during the exam day. So this one cannot skip. The first step is you have to read, and read. And it must be more than one time, right? Number 2, you are going to summarize each information with the implication of the information. It means when you read through your pre-seen materials, you have to highlight the important information and also think about the implication. It means, what does the information try to tell you? You have to think further about not only to understand the information, but you have to think further on how the information actually affect the company, or what does the information actually tell you? Is there any important implication, or is there any important meaning about the information? So you have to do a summarization. You have to do a summary on all these things. You have to summarize all this information. Now you can do it by highlighting your pre-seen material and just write the implication on top, or you can take a fresh piece of paper, write one by one, this information I obtained from which part, and then what is the implication of this information that I can think of at that moment. So you can list down everything. That is why you need 2 weeks to actually prepare yourself, right? The third thing is you can do SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is talking about strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. So when you read section 2, about the industry information, you may find some opportunity and threats. You may want to list it down, and as well as the implication. And then when you read section 3 about the company, you may find some strength and weaknesses. You may want to list it down as well, right? Number 4 is to practice some foreseen questions. Now, of course, ACCA say don't spot question. I also totally agree with that. Don't spot question, but in the pre-seen material that's given to you, there are some information that are more prevailing. It can be like this. It may not have, but it may have as well. So if you see some information that's more prevailing, like for example, they particularly give you a section about risk management, then you may want to prepare yourself for risk management, since that piece of information is so big piece and it seems to be a big part of the pre-seen material. So if this is the case, if you realize some information happen to have this nature, then you may want to prepare yourself related to that topic. So some common topics that you may prepare include, just now what I say, risk management, right? About the risk areas and also the actions taken to mitigate the risk. And then about stakeholders, about internal control weaknesses and some recommendations to improve the internal control. Also about the possible technology that can be used by the company to improve a certain process or to actually introduce a new product. And then also the financial analysis, especially if they give you information related to financial indicators, right? So with this advice, I hope that you have a better idea what to do with SBL pre-seen material. The least that you need to do, the least that you are supposed to do is to download and keep it. And the least that you are supposed to do is to never view the information. So please read through SBL pre-seen information before you go for exam. All the best to you.